Hi, everybody. Hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. We'll be getting started really soon. Thank you for joining us. Really excited. Looks like we have some questions coming through already. Okay. All right. Hi, Devin. Thanks for joining. So glad you could be here. Okay. All right, let's get started. Hi, everyone. My name is Franciria Moore with the Prosperity Agenda. Welcome to Coaching Up Close, our mini webinar series designed to work some quick tips into your busy schedule to help you improve your coaching skills. But first, let me introduce TPA. We are working to end persistent poverty, changing the way that we think about, build programs for and coach families under financial stress. Coaching is, of course, a big part of our DNA, and we work with organizations all over the country on their coaching programs. Before we jump in, if you're joining us live, we'll have a question and answer session at the end of the webinar, so save your questions. Now, let's get started. Today's session is about replacing disempowering language, okay? The language that a client uses can provide helpful insight into what they value and what they believe, not only about themselves, but about the world around them. Certain behaviors that manifest from limiting beliefs can produce unwanted results. By using a belief matrix that we include in our coaching supplement, which you can find online, and it's actually on page 23, we have something called a belief matrix. You can use this belief matrix to help work through some of the language that your clients might be using. So everyone has that inner critic. We call it the inner critic, that thing inside of your head that says, I can't do this, I shouldn't do this, it'll never work, nothing ever goes right for me, money doesn't grow on trees, all of those negative thoughts and beliefs about ourselves, our ability, and the world around us. They slip out, they seep through, and they come out in our language. And so when you're listening to clients and having a coaching conversation, you really want to key in and listen to the type of language they're using when they talk about themselves and their ability and the resources around them. Because many times this will be a peephole into what they believe, because your words are dictated by what you believe. Okay. And so many times, though, that language is not getting them the result that they want. And so if we're in a place with a client where they're not getting the desired result, I believe one of the greatest things you can do as a coach is take a step back, ask the client to define for you what is the desired result. What is the thing that you really want to get? So let's use me for an example, because why not? I have a desire to lose weight. It's a very common desire. I have a desire to lose weight. But when I get in the mirror in the mornings, I stand in front of the mirror, and I don't know if anyone can relate, send me a thumbs up or yes, or, something in the chat box. If you can relate to standing in front of the mirror and going, why do I look like this? None of my clothes fit right. I remember when I used to be slim and trim in high school. I don't think I can ever get my body back together. Or you just looking at all of the things, and you're saying out loud all of the things that you believe about your body and your level of fitness and your health, right? And so I totally understand that, and I can relate. Well, that language doesn't match up with my desired result. So now we need to look at the beliefs. What do I really believe that is causing me to say these things? Okay. And then after I look at the beliefs with a client, we then move into a conversation about how do we figure out what the truth is, because perception and reality are very different. And sometimes clients have a perception of what's going on around them and what they have the ability to actually accomplish in their lives, but that's not necessarily reality. And so through a coaching conversation, we lead clients through somewhat of a formula that first asks them to identify what they really want. Let's identify what the desired result is. And then we move to creating support by identifying the things that you believe about yourself. And then we kind of started tearing it down. Well, when I say, the reason why I'm not the way that I want to be is because, I am lazy. And then, the coach steps in and says, well, are you lazy because you've managed to go to school, you've managed to, accomplish all of these things. So is it that you're lazy, or do we need to help you find more time? Because I don't see any proof of a lazy person. That causes the client to take a step back and create space for them to raise their self-awareness, okay? Everything that happens in a coaching conversation is meant to help the client raise their level of self-awareness, because it's not just good enough for the coach for you to get it. It's important for them to get it. When I was growing up, I played basketball. And so my coach would say all the time, I can draw up a play, I can lead practices, but I cannot get on the court and make the play. And that's exactly what being a coach is. It is helping them to raise their awareness about where they are and the language that they're using. Now, very, very important caveat. I was going to say this later, but I'm going to say it now. A very important caveat as a coach to remember to this is that you must also be disciplined in the language that you use about yourself and toward your client, making sure that it is empowering language, okay? You want to make sure that your beliefs about the people that you're serving, the communities that you're working with, are in total alignment with the desired results for those people in that community, okay? Because if not, if your beliefs are not in alignment, then it will become apparent through your language choices, okay? Your language is the result of a belief. Okay, so let's just make sure everybody's clear on that. As a coach, it is so vitally important that you check your beliefs and make sure that they're in line, so that when you can model for your client what empowering language looks like. Empowering language is not self-deprecating. It is not self-loathing. It does not seek to make yourself smaller. It does not seek to hide. It is not fear-based. Okay, empowering language is exactly what it says. You feel powerful. You help your client move from being a victim to being the person who is empowered to make change and powerful change in their life. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that clients say that, when you've been doing this work for a while, you might not even recognize, like, it might go in one ear and out of the other because you've been hearing it so long. So one thing that clients might say is, I should have just did da 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 da. Okay. Well, we want to replace that. We want to make that a more powerful statement. So maybe we help the client say, I could, because should implies that you really had no choice, or that you gave up your choice. While if you say I could, it puts that power back in the hands of the client, okay? If they say it's not my fault, you want to help them begin to take responsibility for actions that have led them to the situation they're in. So it says, I am responsible for, okay? I am responsible for. Instead of saying it's a problem, then we replace that with it's an opportunity, okay? This is an opportunity for me to grow. Why? Because again, we want to empower the client to know that instead of seeing this as a problem where I might need external help, I know that it is an opportunity for me to grow and progress as a person. Okay. Something again that people like to say, growing up in the South, my father would say things like, hey man, how's it going? And one of his friends would commonly respond, life, it's a struggle every day. I'm just trying to make it. And no one really thinks about those type of things, especially if you grew up hearing it. But we want to help our clients replace the life is a struggle, things are hard, with life's an adventure and I'm learning. And again, the key to this as a coach is modeling this type of language in the coaching conversation, modeling this type of language when you're having follow-up phone calls. You want to be consistent in the type of positive language that you're using so that you set the atmosphere and the expectation that your client knows that when they come into this space, using disempowering language isn't going to be helpful. Okay. And so as always, with anything as a coach, you want to make sure that you ask for permission before you start to make these type of gentle reminders with your client. You want to make sure that you check in with them and say, hi, I noticed that you're using this type of language, or you're constantly pointing out how hard things are for you. Could I raise your awareness about something? Are you open to feedback around this thing? And when they say yes to that and they open themselves up to that feedback, make sure that you're using a sensitive and gentle tone in saying, well, let's really discuss what the truth is about what you are perceiving about the world around you. We talk a lot in the guide about limiting beliefs. And so sometimes our clients are coming to us with limiting beliefs already, beliefs about themselves that limit them from actualizing their full potential. And so we want to discuss those limiting beliefs, and then we want to help them tear down those limiting beliefs and build up the belief of their ability to complete tasks and believe in themselves and really actualize to their highest potential. Okay. Remember that empowering language is responsible, it's powerful, and it's energizing. When you begin to replace language with disempowering language with empowering language, you start to feel better. Something in our body changes because it causes us to perk up and listen. Because everything around us is already telling, many of our clients that things are hard. Imagine the experience that they'll have when they come into your office, they come into your space, and everything around them, the language that you're using is telling them the opposite. And the belief is that you'll scaffold with your client to a point where they will become a coach in their own family, in their own household, about the language that's being used there. Because language is, again, a window into what you believe. And so we believe that if you work backwards. Let's start by identifying what you believe. Let's start by identifying what you desire. Then we'll work on what you believe about that desire and your ability to achieve that. And then we'll work on the language. Okay. A lot of times people want to work on the language, which is just an external thing, without working on the beliefs. Let's make sure we identify the real desire. Let's work on those beliefs to get them in alignment with getting to the desire, and then we'll see a change in the language. Okay. So that's all I have for you today about empowering language. Thank you for joining us. As always, we will be returning next month in January. I hope everyone enjoys their time with their family during this joyous season. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Join us next month for more coaching tips and resources, and be sure to stick around for the question and answer portion. And of course, if you have any questions about our coaching training program, or if you would like to sign up for the next Coaching Up Close mini webinar, please visit us at theprosperityagenda.org. That's theprosperityagenda.org.